Hi everyone, this is Kedra with NyxMoonOracle, and today I am bringing you your past life with your Divine Masculine. We're going to tap into who you were, who were they, what life was like, how did you meet, what were the dynamics of the relationship, challenges, what the soul contract was, were you ever in union, and if so, what was that like, and if not, what was that like, and what was the learned lessons, and how does that affect you both now? So let's see what your past life was like with Divine Masculine. I'm going to tap into who were you. Let's go into a little bit about who were you. It reminds me of the caterpillar in Alice in Wonderland. Who are you? Who are you? Oh, there's a lot going on there. I'm going to shuffle again. I just need one or two, Spirit. Okay, it says inner child. I see green eyes. You may have passed away as a child, or you may have had a child or a major trauma. I'm going to go for major trauma on your inner child because we're looking at your past life with Divine Masculine. You were single. You like to be on your own, or maybe you were always alone. We'll go into that. You had a lot of breakups. It seemed like you attracted, always attracted the Mr. and Mrs. Wrong instead of Mr. and Mrs. Right. Sometimes Mr. and Mrs. Right now. Desert. I just feel like that's that alone. We'll see. We'll go into and see if that is the surroundings or... Okay. So I'm getting that you were alone. And I feel like you were both in the United States. And shaman was on the bottom. And which makes sense because you do carry a lot of those shamanistic qualities. The inner knowing, that high priestess energy, psychic abilities, because you've been through so many cycles with your twin and you're constantly working on ascension. So you carry that with you through each life, each lesson learned. It says desert, but I'm going to clarify desert really quickly. Spirit, can you tell me about this desert? Tell me about this past life with desert. But we know you were American. Oh, they just flew. Okay. This desert is, you know, ending of cycles. I feel that aloneness right here. It was almost like you had been through Mr. Right, Mrs. Wrong so many times, you just felt barren. Didn't know if you had anything left to give, and you weren't willing because of this dry, cracked land. You weren't really wanting to give unless it was real. You had to break through any fears, complications, illusions, but you also were wishing on that moon, I'm hearing. You were wishing on that moon for someone to give that rose to, someone to give that heart to. Looking for signs, pointing you in the right direction. Victim is on the bottom of the deck, and it comes right up on that inner child. I feel like, and vibration is also underneath that. I feel like this resonated with you throughout your lifespan. Not that you were in victim mentality. You may very well, it says major trauma. You were a victim to major trauma as a child. And it affected you because it colored the way you would see people. And this is why you attracted the wrong ones. I do feel it was because you were vibrating that you weren't good enough, or you were afraid. You may have seen, I'm getting visions of you seeing in this past life, this child seeing one of their parents being harmed by the other parent. And this, you know, vibrated out that relationships are dangerous. They're a means to an end, and is it worth it? And you felt stuck because of what you observed. Yep. Yep. Thank you, Spirit. I'm going to go a little bit into more about you. What you look like. What did the Watcher look like? This Divine Feminine, what did they look like, Spirit? A young woman. A young woman, up to 25 years. A young woman, 25 and under. Thank you, Spirit. And then I'm going to go into a little bit more. A little bit more of the personality, and then I'm going to get astrological sign. You were a very sincere person. You had to be. You had to be that sincere person because of what you observed as a child. You really wanted to share your real feelings, and be authentic, but you still were scared. You still were scared, but you were always sincere. That rose and that rose. You were a very sincere person in your words. You like to go out with your friends. I'm going to go more into this. You were a religious person, which makes sense, especially being in the United States in this past life. You were religious. You like to go out with your friends. I am feeling like this is like almost 19, let me think. I'm hearing between 1935 to 1954-ish. I don't know cars and things really well by year. I'm only going by that because I'm seeing outfits, I'm seeing cars. You were very health conscious. You like to swim, I'm hearing. Also, you like to swim. You like to run, but you love to swim. You were very educated. People thought you were sexy and alluring, and you did allure a lot of suitors. You did. And I heard suitors. I know I would never use that term. Suitors. But that's what I'm hearing. You would allure a lot of suitors because you were smart, you loved to go out, you took really good care of yourself, you were sexy, but you also were sincere. Kind. You were a very likable person. You tried to do the right thing. You had a lot of integrity. You tried to do a lot of the right things, but you did love to have fun, and that got you in trouble sometimes, I'm hearing. And I'm open the bottom of the deck, and you were the life of the party. You really loved to go out. That's come through very much. You did. And that's why you were able to get more. You were able to get more. And I'm also hearing you had a hard time because you had a lot of suitors. You had a lot of people wanting to date you. You love to have fun. But that's why you went through a lot of Mr. Wrongs or Mrs. Wrongs. I'm hearing that you married early. You married early around, I'm thinking like fresh out of, I'm seeing 21. 21. That you went to, you made it through high school, you went to college, but it wasn't a full college. It was classes like for office, typing things in the office, like executive assistant, secretary, executive assistant. It was a specific classes. I'm hearing with the company. It was training with the company. Like they were investing in young women to bring on board. But I'm hearing that your partner passed away early. And it left you being a single parent. Let's go into what were some of your dreams and aspirations? What were some of your dreams and aspirations and things you love to do? Because you did love to have fun. What did you love to do in this life? Ooh, that's a lot. Well, that makes sense because you like to have fun. You loved your job. You really did. You loved what you do. You loved what you did. You really loved the training for this job. This job allowed you more freedom. You were, I'm hearing from you, a woman's job is a woman's power. A woman's job is her freedom, is what I'm hearing from you. And see this Page of Pentacles? Look at her holding that pentacle. She's all about that money. You loved to take care of your child, and this job afforded you that. You loved to have fun. You loved to be all coiffed and, bougie. You loved it. You were very proud of this job, and this job took care of the bills, took care of your lifestyle and your child. And religious came out again. You were a religious person. It says church, temple, and mosque. Recognize your spiritual authority. You were all about your job, your religion. What else? This was big to you. You felt very blessed to have this job. You felt very blessed for your child. I feel like when your partner died, it really challenged you, but you knew, I'm hearing people have their time. I'm hearing people have their time. This person was just meant to give me a great time and my child. And I'm hearing I wouldn't change it for the world. What else? Color. I feel like you loved your hobby. One of your hobbies was you love to paint. You love to paint. I'm hearing with oil. I'm feeling the oil in my hands. I personally don't use oils, but in your past life, you absolutely, in your spare time, you loved to go to museums. You loved to go to... I'm hearing you really love to go outside and paint landscapes in oils. You love to be in the mountains. See how she's in the mountains? In nature. Painting. And I feel like you sold some as well. And you liked that. That was not only extra money, but recognition for your work. And on the bottom of the deck, oh my gosh, is mountain. You love to be in the mountains. They fascinated you. They were majestic. Also, I'm hearing from you, I was closer to God in the mountains. That's amazing. It was like the party came out again. All that fun. You loved to attend parties. You loved being in the mountains. It was free. It was like a life party. This life you led was very fulfilling. Was very, very fulfilling. You embraced your artistic side, your wild side. You loved it. Okay. Now I'm going to see your astrological sign real quick on this. And then I'm going to go into a challenge for you, because all of this seems very good. I know the death was probably a challenge for you, but your job, your attractive qualities, your education, your artistic abilities really helped you overcome that. But inside, it's a different matter. Tell me more about this. Oh, this Venus. You just carried that goddess energy. You attracted people. You allured them. You were, remember the sincerity card that came out? Well, look, she has this green aura. Green up here. Green, green, green. And the artistic card is green. All in your heart. You knew how to make people feel loved. You just exuded that love. That's beautiful. You were a goddess, a living goddess, and you embraced that energy. Even with your inner child wounds. I do feel like that alone card. I feel like the single, alone, desert card. I did at the beginning of this reading say that you may have had a child, and we saw single parent, that you did have a child. I feel like this child and you lost the parent of this child, and it was a trauma, and it left you feeling like you were alone in the desert for a little bit of time, but you knew it was a part of the cycle. You knew. But you did stay single after this, but you had that open heart to love. You did. You had that open heart to love, to life. You were single. I feel that you liked it, but you always, you were open to dating because you believed in love, but you did attract Mr. Right or Mrs. Well, it depends. You may have been a Mrs. that likes a Mrs. But you attracted the wrong ones because they didn't love like you. And it was hard also because you did have a child. And I'm hearing they weren't right for your child. And your child was everything. That was your love. Okay, now I'm going to go into... Spirit, can you tell me some shadows about this Divine Feminine's past life? Some not so great things about this past life. What were some of the shadows? What were some of the shadows in that life? I'm going to get 3. Insecure. Childish. Sellout. What I'm getting is when the partner, your husband, passed away, I felt like it left you feeling insecure. Like the foundation was, your foundation was rocked. You were brought to your knees. You didn't know if you could make it. It was like shit got real. You had to get real serious really quickly. I feel like in your life, people, because you were the life of the party, even I'm hearing as you got older, that people called you childish. You didn't like it because you were just having fun. It was like, you were like, everybody's so uptight. Everybody's so uptight. I just want to have fun. I want to have fun. I want to have fun with my husband, myself, my friends, my child. I also feel like, remember it said you were religious? I feel like you may have, in your lifetime, felt like your specific religion, I feel like you turned your back on your specific religion because it sold out what we really are. I feel like because of your, remember the shaman card came out? I feel like your inner knowing, your awakening, and maybe meeting divine masculine. I know for me, when I met my divine masculine, my religious factors changed immediately because I was getting downloads. I was spiritually connected. It was like a plug was in. My religious affiliation just completely changed. My views changed. It was like things were being revealed to me at light speed that I did feel like certain religions instilled fear and traumas and blindness, and it was a sellout to what life really is. And I feel that you were the same way. And I do feel when you're on this twin flame journey, the higher you're ascending, the more you are leveling up, ascending. Not that you're better than anybody else or I'm better than anybody else. It's that the veil is thinning. You're understanding the universe more. You're understanding how much. I had a different accent come in just now, and I had to stop. I don't know what accent that was. It was an American accent, and I can't figure out if it was Brooklyn or Boston because I stopped it before I went. I feel like you were in that area. I feel like you were Irish and Catholic in this life. And I just channeled that. Yeah, now I've lost the messages I was going to get. That accent freaked me out for a minute. It's like there was this religion, the more you learned, the more you understood what this life really is. And being a twin, it was really readily available to you what this life really is and who God really is and what you really are. And all of that was coming in, and you felt like this organized religion was a sellout. That it was forced upon us to forget who we are, to cause fear, to rule by fear. And I feel that that is something you struggled with at first. This was something you went back and forth with because you were like this Irish Catholic hardcore. And then it changed once you met your twin. Thank you, Spirit. Let's see about divine masculine. Let's see what's going on with divine masculines in this lifetime. Your divine masculine in this past lifetime. I'm going to go into what you were like, who you were. Who was the divine masculine in this past lifetime, Spirit? What was this? Rainforest? Sadness? Dark entity? A slave. Okay. Old soul at the bottom of the deck. Oh my gosh. So it's twin flame. And healer. Okay. So this is what I'm getting, okay? For divine masculine. Oh my gosh, and lover. Okay. I don't know why I'm always surprised with cards, but I am. It's like I've just started reading and or having psychic intuition. It just amazes me. It always does. It's new every time, and I love that. What I'm getting is, just like with the desert, for you, this isn't literal. Let me see if you can see those. Okay. This rainforest, I believe, because it's a sadness, I feel like this divine masculine was very sad. Where it's like the polar opposite of you. You were fun, you were out there, your heart chakra was open, but this person had a rainforest of sadness. Just a rainforest of sadness. And it came from a past life before this one. So this traveled forward. And it says dark entity. I feel like this energy, I'm not taking entity for face value. I feel like this sadness, this really sad trauma energy has traveled with this divine masculine because they're just not facing their darkness, their challenges. I'm going to see what this is about real quick. Since we're already in challenges, I'm going to see what this is about. Why not? We're right here anyway. Okay. So let's see what this energy looks like, Spirit. What is the energy that has been traveling with divine? What shadows has divine masculine not been facing through these past lives? Let's see. Misguided. What else? These are almost the same colors. Foolish. Well, there's divine feminine and divine masculine right there. What else? Emptiness. Wow. I'm going to see where this stems from. Envious. Wow. I'm going to get one more. Okay. Irresponsible. Okay. One side is on the bottom of the deck. I'm going to leave this here as a wild card. Yeah, this dark energy of I feel like they're in their head a lot. They're in their head a lot, and it keeps things clouded, foggy. And what does shine through is misguided energy, deception, fears, limiting beliefs, and they just feel empty. This emptiness has traveled with them. You know what it is? Divine masculine does not understand the twin flame dynamic. They don't understand. So they feel like something's missing their whole life. And why? Because the other part of their soul is missing, which is you, in another body. So they already felt like they were missing something. So it's like they were searching for you. And they would see other people in these loving relationships, getting married, and it says right here, seeking out the divine counterpart, long lost love. I said that and I didn't even know that was on the card. This person was empty because they instinctively knew they were missing their other half. They didn't know what a twin flame was. I feel like, you know how you were always attracting the wrong ones? So was this divine masculine. You were both in search of your counterpart. You both were. You both felt something missing. I feel like this divine masculine had been married, had been, dating, and it was never, they still felt empty. And they have carried this. They went through divorces. They cheated. They were irresponsible. Some of them just drank so much during their relationship because they were empty. Even in this relationship that they thought, they were supposed to have. Like they got married because that's what was supposed to happen. And this would make everything better. But it didn't. They just kept the emptiness. And they were irresponsible in their marriage, with their marriage, and getting married just because it was the thing to do. But we were all conditioned to be that way. I mean, I'm 49 years old, and I was conditioned, that you get married, you have some babies, you do this, this, and this, and that's the way it goes. That's not the way it goes. Your life is your life. Your life is what you make it. Life is the way you want to make it. As long as you're not hurting anybody, there's no cookie-cutter way to live life. But the thing is, this divine masculine was a slave, chained to this feeling. They couldn't shake it. They felt like they had a dark entity on them. They felt like they were cursed. That's why I said I didn't want to take this dark entity literally. That's the thing with oracle cards. You shouldn't take them literally. That's why they're oracle. You go deeper. They were a slave to this. They thought they were cursed. They were chained by this emptiness. They were chained by still being envious of other people. They were misguided by the American dream of a wife, a home, a picket fence, 2.5 kids, you know, leave it to beaver shit. But then, I'm sorry, but then, this always happens when I'm on the Divine Masculine. My throat chakra closes up. They met you. See this eye? They met you. And you, they had soul recognition with you. They knew you had been together in a past life. And all of a sudden, that emptiness was gone. And in you as well. You knew. And I'm also hearing that this Divine Masculine lived to be extremely old as well. Like, they lived a very long time. I don't know about you. I didn't see that in yours. Maybe it'll come out later, but I'm not sure. I just bring what comes to me. This Divine Masculine lived a hella long time. But Divine Masculine had that soul recognition with you. They met you. Then the runner-chaser dynamic began with this twin flame journey. But you healed them. They saw you as this beautiful healer. I feel like, this is what's coming to me. I feel like you were a doctor. And remember the company that was training a lot of females for their company, these secretaries. And I can just see this. I can see training for, I feel like you were this secretary for the doctor, and the doctor was your twin flame. And you both felt like you had been healed when you met each other. Healed that emptiness, that aloneness, that sadness for the moment. Because we know how that runner-chaser dynamic happens. But once they got a taste of that, they were chained to you. And this dynamic. They knew they had found that spark, that one, that divine counterpart that they had been seeking all along. But shadows on the bottom of the deck. I'm going to get one more. I'm going to go into more about Divine Masculine's personality in a minute, but I'm going into the twin thing right now. And I'm going to go into how they felt about you, how they saw you. Yeah. But this went from that healer energy to they felt like they were addicted to you. They felt like you were addicted to them. They felt pitiful. Like, why am I so fixated on this person? Why, you know, this feels like something out of control. I feel like you were fixated on them back. I mean, they were fixated on you and it was fine. But then when you were fixated on them, it's that twin flame runner chaser dynamic. It's like, I love you so much. I love you. I love you. I love you. I love you too. I gotta go. Bye. Bye-bye. And it was one-sided and they were blindfolded and you were left out in the cold. Feeling pitiful. And you both became guarded against this situation. Keeping your distance from one another. Going into superficial relationships. Which we saw the both of you doing. But even with the superficial relationships, Divine Masculine fought back and forth. Yeah. They felt like a coward. And you thought they were a coward. Because they silenced you. They were cold to you. And you thought, I gave my power away to this person. I can't believe I did that. I have to take it back. So then you gave them the cold shoulder. And you both kept your feelings a secret. From that point on. I'm going to go into that relationship dynamic in just a little bit. But I'm going to go into more about Divine Masculine. About them. Spirit, tell me more about Divine Masculine. I want to know more about Divine Masculine. King of Wands. So he was an older man than you. Older man, over 25, had green eyes. either blonde to red hair, some kind of combination. Really ambitious, outspoken. I do feel it was that doctor energy, that King of Wands. Very passionate person, very businesslike. Not yet a King of Swords, but I feel like could very well. I feel could be, you know, Celtic as well. I feel like that's where you bonded. I feel like this person, you were in your 30s and they were in their, I'm seeing 45 to 50, 45 to 50, and a doctor. So tell me more about this, Spirit. Tell me more about this Divine Masculine's qualities. What kind of person were they? Are you okay, honey? You keep going to the bathroom.
What?
Are you okay? You keep going to the bathroom. Do you have diarrhea? You do?
My poop is really gooey.
Gooey? Not water, though?
What?
Not watery, though?
Kind of watery.
I'll look at it to make sure, okay?
Okay.
So we're going to look at Divine Masculine's archetype. Oops, I forgot one over here. I'm going to put this in here. Spirit, can you tell me about this Divine Masculine's personality in this past life, please, that we're channeling? Thank you. This makes sense with that doctor mentality, martyr. Yep, addiction to self-pity was a shadow. They had that sadness with them constantly. And then after they met you, they felt pitiful. They saw you as pitiful, but definitely self-pity. But this martyr, nature of service, they liked to heal people. They were a healer. What else, Spirit? Any more? Vampire. I feel this person could drain the fuck out of your energy, okay? Just drain you, drain any person that they were in a relationship with. We saw earlier that, let me find that card. I mean, look at all this dark entity. Well, guess what a dark entity is? A vampire, energy vampire. I feel like they just drained people. Oh, and there was another one that came out. It was that irresponsible card. Yep, right there. They were irresponsible in their marriages. I feel like they cheated. I feel like they drank a lot to fill this up. I feel like they just gave up on relationships very easy because it wasn't that one. And I do feel like it made this person, this Divine Masculine, fearful that other people were only with them because they were a doctor. I do feel this person was attractive, just like you were. They were very drawn to you, but you both had this connection. You both felt healed by it. You both were satisfied. The soul recognition was there, but then the runner-chaser dynamic happens. And this energy vampire, where they're suspicious of you, they felt that you were fixated on them with that love goggles. And I feel it just, yeah, this is how they saw you because of this energy. I feel like they were the actual, energy vampire, but they saw you as that because they felt like you were needy. And we all know that chaser energy, if someone did that shit to us, we feel the same way. I had a guy, I'm not even kidding you, I had a guy today do something to me that made me feel just so creepy, and I felt so dirty, and I felt so gross. I was instantly repelled. And I wasn't even in a relationship with this person, but his energy repelled me. And he literally was, I just don't even want to go into it, but I don't like when people touch me without permission, or if I'm not in a relationship with them, or they're not my child, or children that I care about. I was very repelled. So this person was repelled by you. Oh, and it's because that's the way it's supposed to be in the twin flame dynamic. They're supposed to be the runner-chaser dynamic until these shadows, like this behavior, thinking that you're a martyr because you're, I mean, this divine masculine's ego was huge, but also at the same time, a small person, an insecure person. But it was like if they had somebody stroking their ego, they were like, oh yes, oh yes, oh yes. And then bye. I'm irresponsible and I'm going to discard you. And they discarded you, even when they felt healed and like you were the missing piece. And I feel like that ego was so huge that it just built up this wall between you. And they did not like that they were addicted to you. They may have felt like you had put a spell on them. You were a dark energy on them. Yeah, this person was full of himself. But that is the twin flame dynamic. So now I'm going to go into how did you meet? How did you meet? You know, before I do that, I forgot to get their zodiac sign and what they enjoyed doing in life. Tell me about this, Spirit. Tell me what energy this divine masculine in this past life was. Capricorn. I love me some Capricorns, but they are very, they're very, that fits that doctor profile for sure. They were a Capricorn. With a lot of earth energy. I feel like they had a Sagittarius moon as well, which that's a combination right there. That fire sign and that, I mean, yeah. The Capricorn, I feel like Capricorn with a Sagittarius moon with a lot of earth in their charts as well. And then I'm going to see what are some things that they like to do in their lifetime. Tell me about their life, Spirit. Tell me about their life. I think I'm going to get 2 and then 2 more on another card. This is going to be a long reading, guys. It's probably going to be another 35 minutes. I think this person really dreamed of having their own. Oh, there's a lot of fire here. That Sagittarius. That earth. What else, Spirit? What else? Baby. Okay. Awards. I do feel this person and child comes out again. It's upside down though. I feel like they wanted a baby. But it never happened. But this was a dream of theirs. But they did not have a child. They did not have a child. But they wanted one. They really liked praise for their efforts as a doctor. I feel like, I'm also feeling like they didn't have a stable home growing up. And so when they were able to purchase their first home, they wanted to fill it with a wife and a child. This fire, I feel like it was a burning passion for them to have this. They got the home, but they didn't get the wife and the child. And they did get wives, but it never came to fruition. But they did love getting that praise, getting that home, getting that car. Yeah, they liked that money that the doctor's salary afforded them. I'm going to get 2 more. I'm going to get 2 more. Tell me more about this person's, their personality, what was going on in their life. Tell me more in this divine masculine's life. This divine masculine wants to stay quiet, I'm telling you. Ooh. Every time I say that, they fly out. They fly out. They like to travel. They did a lot of traveling, I'm hearing. But I'm hearing they did a lot of traveling alone. Away from their home. But they liked traveling. They really did. I'm actually seeing images of this person in their car riding around. Got back and forth. Okay, this goes back to you. Yeah, it comes back to you because, like I said, this divine masculine felt chained to you. This back and forth with you. 1 minute they want to transform this relationship. 1 minute they have hidden motivations like, well, maybe this person and I can have a child together, a marriage together, and then they'd be gone. This back and forth, teeter-totter. Maybe they're just wanting to take from me. Maybe they're fooling me. And they would make every excuse to run away from you. And then they'd come back with hidden intentions. But they also did come back and forth. They teetered on it in their mind a lot. They were allured by you, but see, they're looking away. And you're there with your offer, with this pathway here, and they would turn their back to it. I feel like they would travel away from you to other people as well, you know, thinking that they could have children with this person, you know, and then they'd come back. I'm also hearing because I see two people here, even though it's children, I do feel like this divine masculine, for some of you, because each of you has a different divine masculine, was very similar backgrounds, some give and take what resonates, leave what doesn't. But I do feel this person was teetering back and forth between you both. There was another woman and there was you, and I do not feel you knew about it. It was almost like they were leading a double life. You did not know. And they would come and they would go, and they would come and they traveled back and forth between you two, and would use, you know, being a doctor to use that as an excuse to stay away long periods of time. I'm going to get one more. But I do feel like they wanted to transform something with you. But they were hiding a life. Remember that irresponsible card came up. This doctor may have even been married when you met. Joyous fun. I do feel like this family, yeah, I knew it, damn it. I kept feeling like this doctor was married when you met, but you didn't know. I'm hearing that whenever you, yeah, he was very good about keeping this away because you worked in the same building. You weren't his secretary. You were a secretary in like the hospital. But you did not know this doctor was married. Not at first. Not at first. He kept that hidden. But then I do feel like you found out. You found out not too long after. I feel what I'm hearing is these children were not his. There were children that were not his. There were two people. This person and this person. There was a baby on the way, but because we saw that baby card, it didn't happen. I feel like the child either passed away or there really wasn't a baby. Like a fib. One of those two scenarios. I'm really leaning towards the baby passing away. That's just because the baby's up in the clouds. These are on the ground. I feel like this person had children before. I'm also hearing with this person married. This is why the irresponsible card came out as well. Married this woman, and this woman was his, Lord have mercy. This was his brother's wife. The brother passed. They were married, took over the children. They were to have a baby, and the baby didn't make it. The baby passed away. I'm hearing a lot of stuff about this woman, and I don't know if I should say anything else right now. I feel like this woman passed away in childbirth. Later on. Passed away, like he was already running from you, told you the baby was on the way, and I feel like the baby passed away, and the child and the mother passed away. But I feel like the baby passed away first and the mother shortly after. Wow, this is something this divine masculine went through. And I feel like that's that rainforest of sadness as well. I do feel, I'm going to see how he feels, how this divine masculine felt about you right now. How you felt about divine masculine, how you saw them. That's really sad. I'm so sad right now. Spirit, can you tell me how divine masculine saw and felt about this divine feminine in this past life, Spirit? How did this divine masculine feel about and see this divine feminine? She who listens. I think I'm going to get 3. She who listens. Your name might be Hannah or Pearl. I feel like this divine masculine saw you as someone who was there for them, especially when the baby passed away. Even before that, you were always a very good and understanding person. Remember, sincere came out in that card, that you were very sincere, very compassionate, very much there for this person. And this is one reason why they fell for you. This is something that gave them comfort, made them feel healed. Plus, you're very sexy. You took care of yourself. Remember, you were very health conscious. That came out. You love to have fun. You really loved to look good. You were sexy. You had suitors, and you liked that. You really took care of yourself. And this is she who rises up. Like, they knew that you lost somebody as well. They knew that you lost somebody, and now they had lost somebody, and you rose up after the loss of your husband. You uplift. You elevated. I feel that they just saw you as very strong, very beautiful, but very delicate at the same time. This is a lot of respect, and I feel like they kept a lot of this hidden from you. They also see you as your name could have been Carly, especially for like Carol Ann. She who frees. You liberated. You were free. You love to have fun. You love to go forward. I feel like at a certain time you let go of this connection and you walked away. You walked away from this divine masculine. It was a point in time where you had to. I felt like you maybe had some downloads. So that's about the divine masculine, how they felt about you in their heart space, head space, and, you know, deep down, how they felt about you. So I'm going to go into how they, I'm going to go into some feelings here about divine feminine. I'm going to go a little deeper. Some feelings, spirit, from this divine masculine. Enlightenment. They knew that about you. They felt that you were this higher love, that this was a different kind of connection. Remember in the beginning where we saw that divine connection that they were searching for? They knew something was missing when they had that soul recognition with you. Yeah, they instinctively knew that you were part of them. See these two faces on this one? That you were part of them. They instinctively knew. They kept this with them. Workaholic. They're artists here too. I feel like you both were very much workaholics because job came out about you. You loved your job. You loved doing art. And I feel like you both connected over art. I feel like you both really sunk yourself into work. So I'm going to go into how you met. I'm going to go into how you met. Spirit, can you tell me how this divine feminine and divine masculine met? How did they meet? How did they meet, Spirit? What was going on? How did they meet? What was going on? There's a lot of stuff in. This is a beautiful deck, past life. Okay. How did they meet, Spirit? I can't pick these up. Okay. Okay, let me see. What else can I get? Yeah. I'm going to go into a little bit, another deck real quick. How did they meet, Spirit? I think it was at your job. The same stuff keeps coming out, just in different cards. Healing again. Okay, so Spirit's like, I'm telling you in your head, but you're not saying it. But the thing is, I don't like to say it, Spirit, until I see it, for the most part. I'm going to go into this deck, see what I can get. Spirit, how did they meet? So if I don't get anything... Okay. Okay. So, I'm getting... you met in the spring, and it started off as a spring fling. Thank you, Spirit. I feel like you were really attracted to this person's, remember how much you love colors, that you were very attracted to the fact that they loved art. You had that soul connection immediately. That's interesting. I'm getting a lot of messages. Okay. Finally. All right, so how you met. I feel like it was in the spring. You met in an elevator. And you were very, very attracted to this person because they looked wealthy, the way they carried themselves, the way they smelled. I mean, you were just very drawn to this person because you just felt like it was out of this world, this connection, like it was alien. You had become in each other's orbits and you loved it. They loved it. So an elevator. I feel like this person loved your lips. The way you were coiffed. Remember, you really like to take care of yourself. And this person loved that you did art. And you met on an elevator and you were in each other's orbit. I feel like you talked about your family together. Or, he did not talk about, hang on guys, my phone just went dark. Hang on. Okay guys, sorry. My phone just drained a little bit. I feel like your Divine Masculine and you talk about your families. And Divine Masculine did not talk about their wife at first, not until they were ready to run. I feel like you talked about your upbringing. Remember, I told you both were from Irish families. You both had that in common. I feel like you discussed that, you know, where you had traveled together. Remember, you like to have fun and you like to travel too. I feel like you both had a lot of things in common. You both talked a lot. You were both automatically drawn. Remember, they felt like you healed them and you felt the same way. You had that soul connection. This was a beautiful new beginning. It was like immediate lusty stuff. You immediately were intimate with each other. It was very, I feel like maybe a few conversations and then some coffee and then a date and then boom. You were, you know, bow chicka wow wow. But I feel like, you know, this Divine Masculine knew what was going on. They were in they did feel this past life connection with you. This looks like that card earlier with cycles for the Divine Feminine. With the cracked, the rose, the clouds, just no female. I feel like once you guys were intimate with one another and that honeymoon phase for the twins is over, things started to become unstable. You started to feel Divine Masculine pulling away, like something was off. Things were starting to crack. You were feeling alone, and they were these karmic soul triggers. Yeah, they were feeling it. They were triggered by you, and this was triggering you because they were pulling back, that back and forth, hot and cold. And the fact that you worked together, you didn't work directly with each other, but you worked in the same building. You were very likely, and because you're twins and you're in your orbits with one another, you're going to run into each other, even if you're trying to avoid each other. And this caused a depression in you. You were crushed at this goodbye. You felt like your cup had just been spilt all over the place. Everything was dried up and you were in a fog as to why. There wasn't information about twin flames back then. I mean, you felt this love, this past life connection with them. You knew this was different. They knew. And you were consulting. I feel like you were really, this is where, remember I said earlier in the reading that you were questioning your religion upon the activation with this twin flame dynamic. I feel like once this goodbye happened, you started questioning your religion. You started wanting to know more. You felt like, this isn't right. This isn't right. I was married before and I loved that person dearly. And then this person comes along and it is the most intense, loving energy that I've ever felt in my life. And now it's gone and I'm crushed. I feel unstable. I don't know right from wrong. I don't know why this happened. Why did this happen? And You saw it. Like, you put on your war paint. You put on your lipstick, put your big girl panties on. Even though you were feeling crushed and depressed, you're like, okay, they missed out. They missed out on this opportunity. I'm going forward. I'm putting my lipstick on, and I'm getting out there, and I'm living life. I'm not going to let this. Remember, Divine Masculine saw you as the one who rises up. Well, you did that. Just like when you lost your husband. You weren't going to stick around for that. I feel like they did teeter-totter a few before you. Remember, we did see the one who frees. You were all of these wonderful things, but then she who rises up, but then you freed yourself from this connection. You totally liberated yourself from this connection. You're like, they're walking away. They're missing out on this beautiful opportunity with each other. This was spiritual. This was otherworldly. And they're walking away. Well, I'm not going to stick around for this pain. You went through a period of time, though. This took you a while before you could liberate yourself. And I do feel like you found out. I feel like you were intimate and everything had happened, and then they told you they were married and a baby was on the way. You felt betrayed by that. You went through this dark night of the soul. It was crushing. It was a crushed goodbye. You went into a depression. It felt like your heart turned to stone. And I'm hearing that. Let me go in and see if I can find that. You questioned everything religion. You felt like your heart was made of stone. But I do feel like you heard about the child passing away, and you were there to listen. And I feel like there were a few encounters after that where he would go back and forth, and I felt like you found out about the mother dying as well. But you walked away. You still walked away because you felt betrayed. I'm going to look into how you felt about this Divine Masculine. How did Divine Feminine feel about this Divine Masculine? With all of this, with finding out about this wife, the child, awakening. Yeah, this was the beginning of your awakening. Wow. You felt compromised. You felt like you compromised, and the separation hurt you. Because I do feel like you went back and forth. Even when you found out about the marriage, I do feel like this Divine Masculine still came back and forth a few times. You entertained that. You compromised your religious beliefs. You compromised, because I really feel, I can hear in my head that, you know, your religious belief was no affairs, no cheating outside of marriage. But you would compromise your values because it was Divine Masculine. It's very hard to say say no to Divine Masculine. But you put it on ice. Wow. You were, wow. Damn, Divine Feminine. Look at that paintbrush again. This is badass. This is so badass. Like, you're not even wanting to talk about Divine Masculine in these feelings. Your past life person, your past life you, is like, hey, I compromised myself for this relationship. It broke my heart. The separation broke my heart. There's another paintbrush. But I used it in my art. I used it as motivation. And I put this on ice. I brought it to a conclusion. The conclusion was, this is not about me. This is about my awakening. I'm getting downloads. I'm ascending. I am changing. I am facing my shit. Walking away from what doesn't serve me, and I'm walking into the light of myself. And I'm using it in my art. In painting my life and creating my life. And I have that free will. I have that free will to do that. I have that free will to say no to this divine connection and focus on me and changing. This is so badass. Like, this is badass Divine Feminine. Whew. I knew this was a soul recognition, but I also knew somehow, because of my ascension, my awakening, my downloads, that this moon is all about illusions. There is no separation. This is my soul. I am one soul. I am one soul with two different bodies, but this is all about ascension and changing and aligning with source. And see these two paddles? We're all going on the same journey. This Divine Masculine has the free will to go and do what he wants, and so do I. And I'm just going to work and create my life. I recognize this is a divine connection, but I also recognize we're not separate. We are together, always. And I'm freeing myself of thinking otherwise. I'm not going to compromise thinking that we are two different people We're one soul in two different bodies. And I'm going to focus on ascending, because that's what it's about. You knew that, and you're not settling. You're already in union. The answer is yes to myself, and that I am working on all of those inner child wounds that we saw earlier and focusing on taking care of my child. And that's what you did. You worked on your family. A sturdy foundation. You worked on self-worth. You worked on dropping any masks or limiting beliefs for yourself. You forgave yourself. You forgave Divine Masculine. You refocused and took all of those lessons that you learned from this, and you put them in your book of life to travel with you throughout the rest of your life and through the life now. You brought justice to yourself for a new beginning, for your big dreams, and remember how you're all about that money. And you were still having fun out there with your tribe, your family, your friends. Remember how you love to have fun. And you left Divine Masculine with understanding. And you knew that if Divine Masculine was meant to return, they would. But you weren't going to worry about it at all. I'm now going in to see if Divine Masculine did return in this life. And then I'm going to go into what lessons were learned. I think I already know the lessons, because I pretty much said them right here. But I'll get a couple just to make sure. Did Divine Masculine in this life return to Divine Feminine for union in the physical? Did Divine Masculine return spirit for union, physical union? Okay. And then right here. And then passion on the bottom of the deck. Okay, I do feel like after you went through that awakening and loving yourself first and moving forward, I do feel like this, it says your self-respect makes you more romantically attractive. And it's true. When you walked away and you lived your best life and you took care of yourself, your pentacles, you know, put on that lipstick and went forward, I really do feel like it magnetized Divine Masculine to you. And the divine orchestrated events for this to happen. Because when you do take, and this is true with all twin flame journeys, when you do take care of yourself first and live your best life and not focus on an outcome with Divine Masculine and not carry hatred or anger, just nothing. You just treat them like anybody else. They come, boom, right in. And then I feel like they came in, and after some heart-to-heart conversations, honestly discussing things and getting to know one another, the passion was reignited, and there was an engagement. This could be the one. You already met this romantic partner you seek. Yes. Allow your heart and soul to sing with joy. You went forward with it. They did too. They knew you were the one. They knew a long time ago, but it's that push and pull shit, things that you had to learn. You know, Spirit's not going to bring you together if you're not doing your work. And also, after Divine Masculine, you both go through the experiences that you're supposed to. And when you do, the divine will move mountains to bring you both together and ignite that passion, have those conversations, honestly, lovingly, knowing this could be the one with an engagement. This was guided and orchestrated, and there was a honeymoon. A honeymoon. So I do feel like you were in romantic union. Oh, and wedding was right here as I open the deck. Yep, the situation involves marriage. Yes, you were in physical union in this life as well, after a period of separation. That's beautiful. And you knew after doing all that work, and so did Divine Masculine, that it was safe for you to love. So now, and they were worth waiting for. Oh, and past life relationship. Reconciliation. Boom. All right, that's beautiful. Thank you, Spirit. Now I'm going to go into what lessons were learned. Just a couple, because we pretty much know what the lessons were learned, And then we'll get some advice from Spirit moving forward and how it affects your life. What are some lessons, Spirit, that were learned in the past life? What were some lessons that were learned in the past life? Thank you, Spirit. To celebrate your life. To make your life a celebration. To live your best life. Remember how the paintbrush said muse? And I said, you walked away. You walked away from Divine Masculine so you could create and paint your own life. Live your best life. Put on that lipstick and live your best life. Take care of you and your family. Get together with your soul tribe and just have fun. That's what the lesson was learned in that lifetime. Even when your first husband died, you focused on your pentacles. You focused on having fun. You focused on taking care of that baby. You focused on living your best life, traveling, doing things you loved, having fun, friends. You went beyond the ego. You balanced your life. And you knew your life's purpose and accepting challenges as they came. And you got real creative. You got real creative with living. You knew what your life purpose was. It was to experience and help your child have a great experience. And you knew that, somehow you knew, but you didn't care either way. I mean, it was good, yes, if Divine Masculine came back, but it was okay if it wasn't as well, but you weren't going to give two thoughts about it. You weren't in your ego about it. You weren't like, fuck that guy, or he can kiss my ass, or anything else like that. You were just like, this person has the free will to walk away or come back. And I have the free will to accept that and go in that direction or not. It's up to me. It's my paintbrush. This is how I'm going to create my life. You accepted your challenges. You did not let them happen to you. You let them happen for you. And you got real creative in how you could take care of them. This is so inspiring to me. This is so inspiring. You balanced your shared energy between Divine Masculine by living your best life. A balanced life in the now, celebrating, going beyond ego and, depression and need and anger and sadness and not feeling worthy. You transcended. Remember that singleness, always finding Mr. Wrong, always feeling like that desert? You went beyond that ego. You had a huge awakening and enlightenment. And I'm so thoroughly impressed because you were in a time frame where there was no internet. There was nothing about twin flames unless you were looking at deep philosophy, which you were a very educated woman who probably had reading as a hobby. And maybe that's how you found out what you needed to do, because Spirit will always guide you during an awakening on what this journey is really about. I remember I knew jack shit about twin flames. Never heard of them. Ever. And when I was going through my awakening, when my soul activation happened with a person, like, I'm so anti anything, like, I would never have messed around with a married man in my life, ever. But my twin was married when we came into contact and had soul recognition. And I had this tremendous guilt for even being attracted to this person. But at a certain point, I was like, I just would rather be a friend. I really wanted to be a friend because I felt so connected, like my soul was just calling. And I had no idea. And this person, was the one who would come up to me first and talk and this and that. And then all of a sudden he stopped because my energy was building up so bad. And then I was very confused. Like, how could I feel so much for somebody when I just would never fall for a married man, ever. I just never allowed myself that. Eventually he got divorced, and not because of me. But I carried a tremendous amount of guilt because of my religious upbringing and morally speaking. But that's when I started feeling and finding out about twin flames. And there was some bad information out there. Very bad, which made my twin flame journey worse. The dark night of the soul worse. But this sounds like you had some really good downloads, intuition. Maybe just, I don't know how you were able to do this, but you did it. And it's amazing. It took me a long time to do that. And I'm still in this process, actually. I'm still working on this process. And this past life of yours did it. Which shows me, if you're in this process now and you're trying to let go and you're freeing yourself and you've already done it, you can do it again. This is just a reminder of how you did it before. And your higher self is saying, look, this, I hope you can see these. This is the key. This is the key. You surrender to the flow of life. Love seeks your well-being. This divine masculine will come back, but you can't count on it. What starts is your well-being and balancing that shared energy. Celebrating your life. Make your life a celebration. Live your life's purpose. Seek your own deeper vision for life. Get real creative with how you accept challenges and don't sink in that ego of feeling sorry for yourself. It's like, accept it, move on. Do something about it or accept your situation and take steps to change it. This is absolutely beautiful. What are some words of wisdom going forward, Spirit, for this divine feminine in this life. I feel like these are the words of wisdom for you now from your past self, from your higher self. But I'm going to get a little more. Yeah, you went back in a time machine, honey. You went back in a time machine and revisited, and now I'm giving you this information. This is it. This is your message. This is how to end the twin flame pain, the runner-chaser dynamic. This is the key to it all. You just got in a time machine and got all the secrets of how to move forward in your life and to come into physical union with Divine Masculine. And that is to let Divine Masculine go completely. That's so beautiful. That's so badass. I love this. Yeah, keep your ears open. Spirit speaking. Keep your ears open because this reading, this says it all. Don't dismiss it. Keep your ears open. Keep your ears open for messages, intuition, and watch, listen to what your mind is telling you. If it's telling you this journey's too hard or I can't do this, you need to watch this video again and listen and listen and listen again because this is the key over and over throughout time. Keep your ears open. Watch how you're speaking to yourself. Watch what you're saying to yourself. Get out of that ego. Balance that shared energy. And that's what I have for you guys. This was a beautiful reading. It was very interesting. I learned a lot. I'm actually going to take a picture of these cards for myself as well, just to keep me going. I hope this reading helped. Thank you guys so much. If you enjoyed the video, please click like, subscribe for the next video. I'm going to do these every Monday. I just find them very interesting. I had the idea the other day to just do past lives with Divine Masculines on Mondays. So I hope this helps. It was very interesting. You're a badass. You're a badass now. You were a badass then. Don't forget that Divine Feminine power. Celebrate your life. Namaste.